So for decades, I have been extraordinarily fortunate that I never needed to advertise. I never needed to do social media. People always referred other people to come and work with me, on a one-to-one basis. And it was great. I didn't have to faff with any of the media stuff at all. Now, of course, we have Zenguin, and I really want to, because I know how effective and I know the results that Zenguin has for people because I've been testing it for, the last at least 5 years. Now we have the challenge of diving into this crazy online space and finding ways, and my goodness, is it a steep learning curve? Finding ways to get out there. And of course, part of that is kind of knowing that, well, a lot of people from here on in are going to land on this site, and they may not know me. You may not know me already. You may not even have been referred by someone. You might just have kind of landed here by some miracle. In which case, you're probably going to need to know at least a little bit about my background and personal experience, even though it is the thing that I least like talking about. Mostly because I forget, mostly because I'm usually so focused on another person if I'm, working with them that, you know, my stuff is kind of neither here nor there and it's all in the past, and I'm usually focused on what I'm doing forward. Um, so here goes to try and give you in a nutshell, kind of whistle-stop tour through, I guess, some of the important bits. So academically speaking, I have a Bachelor of Medical Science honours undergraduate degree, several postgrad diplomas, two master's degrees, and various advanced certified trainings in areas like trauma and neurobiological approaches, and advanced body intelligence, and conscious relationship building, and a whole host of stuff that generally on an everyday basis I forget unless I look at a list. On the About page, there's probably more of a comprehensive blurb about that. I started my working career in the NHS. I became the youngest specialist in the UK in a niche field, and then left to set up private practice, and I've been working that way ever since. And I have had the privilege of doing some interesting things along the way, like advise national charities and advise behind the scenes for several Channel 4 programs, and been interviewed by the BBC several times and all that kind of stuff. And so that's the kind of professional bit. I think the bit that is more important to me in terms of how it informs how I work, and that is, I don't just come at Zenguin, I didn't just design Zenguin with only academic kind of background and foundation. I created Zenguin because I have had to untangle the effects of difficult situations that have happened in my own life, that resulted in things like complex trauma and PTSD, and a number of other things. And so I've had to live this firsthand of how our system gets in such a tangle when we have these difficult experiences, and how on earth do we unravel that and kind of rewire. And so, as well as the academic kind of pathway through, I have had to find and road test stuff that actually worked for me, and then, and only then, will I share stuff with other people. And so the Zenguin material I use myself on a daily basis, and I've seen it work for all the people that I've shared it with professionally on a one-to-one basis. And it's had to work out there in the real world, and not just be some kind of theoretical thing, which is why I think they're so practical, and which is why I simplified everything and ended up with a tangible map that people can use. because it's a lot easier, particularly when you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed and stressed. You don't want a bunch of handouts. I've got a box just off the camera here with some research files and things, as I kind of have been doing Zenguin, and they're that thick with handouts, a lot of them, and who has time anyway, unless you're researching? And definitely when you feel anxious and overwhelmed, you don't want to plow through something like that to find a handout that might help you in that moment. So I combine both of those aspects, professional and academic, and personal experience, and hopefully those two form quite a nice balance and inform everything that I do. So that's a kind of a ramble around my background for those of you who don't know anything about me. And by all means, if you feel the need, reach out and ask me questions, and I can either put answers on here or get back to people if I get multiple people asking the same question. And hopefully you will get to meet me in person. I say meet virtually if you come on the course. But I guess at least you now know that it's not just any old random person, sticking videos and handouts on a web page. They are coming from as well-informed place and as well-intentioned place as I can. And I learn every week. I am continually doing updates, research updates, professional updates all the time. And that's one of the reasons why Zenguin is so cutting edge in terms of the content, is because, I will do regular conferences and trainings with the US research that's coming out, and it's why it's not, something that maybe, is quite so mainstream yet, because it is so new. So hopefully I will see you soon, and have fun doing the fear quiz too.